Hi everyone, part 2 of talking about my trip to Nepal. I think we last left off, I was talking about sunglasses and how you absolutely need them on the trail to prevent snow blindness. These aren't actually the sunglasses I used on the trip. I actually gave those away. These I got, I think, when I was in Australia. But, and also I wouldn't recommend aviators. I would recommend the sport variety, like the kind that actually wrap around your head with the plastic frames, just because it'll keep the sun from getting out. But just wanted to have this here as like a visual reference. Just gonna go over the rest of the gear that I used along the trail. Pocket knife. This isn't the one that I used on the trip. This is a K-Bar Dozier, just a cheap little $20 knife, but high quality. I did a separate review on this. Basically, I bought a pocket knife when I was in Nepal, used it mostly for day-to-day stuff like opening packages, pulling out splinters and stuff like that. And then at the end of the trail I just gave it away. But I would recommend a good useful pocket knife. Doesn't need to be anything like special or really expensive, just something that's functional and usable and sharp. Here's my little satchel, which I crammed everything that I was going to use for the next 2 weeks. Here you're going to have the basic toiletries, which is basically toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss. And going to the inner cover, I wear glasses, so a little case with my glasses in it. And then also contacts. I usually just wear the glasses when I get to the guest house or the town that we stop at. Most of the time you have to bring a big old bottle of solution and also the little case that it comes in. Then a digital camera. I used one of the old Canon A series cameras, and then I bought a ton of AA batteries and brought it with me. Even then I ran out of batteries just because I was trigger happy and just pretty much took pictures of everything. But you can buy them along the way. As you go up, I'll discuss the cost of supplies as you go up. And then also just some pens and my little journal that I took notes and little references and people's information and like plane tickets and stuff like that. Like if you look here, there's my boarding pass to get to Lukla and back, and then got a bunch of other stuff. Like I went to like a museum in Kathmandu, and that's like the little ticket that you got there when you go inside. Anyways, that was it. That was all the gear. And basically, going off my cheat sheet, I think we were talking about how you fly in from Kathmandu into Lukla. Once you get to Lukla, you're not going to stay there. As I said before, you're going to strip your gear and leave all the non-essentials and pare it down to only what you absolutely need on the trail. Then once you've done that, you take your little bag and you go with your guide and you start trekking from Lukla to Pakding. At Pakding, you're going to stop there and then you're going to spend the night, and then you're going to trek again to the next town, which is Namche. Another thing that you're going to hear a lot when you're trekking, especially at altitude, is to hike high, sleep low. Basically, as an example, say I was going from Lukla to Pakding. What you do is you hike from Lukla to Pakding, and granted these are all higher, concentrically higher. Like as I go to each town, they're just higher and higher altitudes. As I go from Lukla to Pakding, what I would do is I would get to Pakding, drop my stuff off there, and then spend a couple of hours hiking even past that, even higher up, and then come back down to sleep at Pakding. What you're doing when you do that is you're getting your body used to higher and higher altitudes, but then you bring it back down just a little bit so that you sleep lower than what you hiked maximum that afternoon, but higher than what you started out that morning, just to kind of acclimatize your body, but not too much, not stress it out too much from altitude. Once you go from Pakding, the next day we went to Namche, spent the night there. Now Namche is really special, and I gotta tell you, if you're hiking, you gotta remember that Namche, that's the last place you're gonna be able to buy gear in terms of clothing. You'll be able to find like things like food, drinks, batteries, small supplies like that, all the other towns, but Namche is the last place you'll be able to buy like equipment in terms of clothing. From there we went up to Tengboche, and then the following day after that, now reckon we went to each town and spent the night at each town except for Pariche. At Pariche, what you're going to do is you're going to land there, you're going to spend the night there, and then you're going to stay one extra night there as a rest day to help you acclimatize to the altitude, just because at that point it's going to get pretty gnarly. For altitude sickness, it's a weird thing. Acute mountain sickness, doesn't matter how in shape you are. I've seen people who are totally in shape get sick, and then people who are totally out of shape, or elderly even, and have no problem whatsoever. In addition, you could go on this trek, not have a problem one year, and then do it the following year and suddenly like get sick and have to go back down. It's hard to tell who's going to be affected by it and who's not going to be. The only thing that I can say though is if you vomit, you're going to have to go down, just because that's a really sure sign that you're going to hemorrhage and possibly die. So pay attention to your body. Don't push yourself too hard. Listen to yourself. Like if you start getting headaches, go slower. Maybe spend an extra day at that town if you have the chance to. So anyways, after 2 days of Pariche, we went up to Dugla. From Dugla we went to Lobuje, and then the morning that we woke up at Lobuje, we went all the way to Gorak Shep, dropped our gear off there, and then continued onwards to Mount Everest Base Camp. At Mount Everest Base Camp, we went back down and then slept at Gorak Shep, and then the following day we went up to Kalapatar, summited that mountain, went back down, and then just went straight from Kalapatar that morning all the way down to Pariche. Because on the way down, you go so much faster, whereas it took us, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days to get up to Gorak Shep. It took us like 3 days to get all the way back down to Lukla. So down is a lot easier. And another thing is, as you go down, you're going to start feeling better and better, because as you go lower and lower altitudes, you're getting more oxygen, which and you're already used to living off of less air at higher altitudes. You're going to start feeling better as you go down, and you're going to be going faster as you feel better. So it just gets progressively more easy. Wanted to talk about base camp itself. It was pretty cool. You actually can't see base camp from Gorak Shep. It's hidden by like certain ranges, but the cool thing when you get there is there's a bakery there, the Mount Everest Bakery, and they had cakes and cookies and stuff like that. And you can see all these tents of all the professional climbers who are spending time there. Once you get to base camp, if you're thinking about summiting, you have to spend a lot of time there acclimating to the altitude before you even decide to summit. There are 3 routes up to summit. There's Route 1, 2, and 3. Route 2 and 3 are harder, and in order to summit those 2 routes, you have to get a license from the Nepali government, and that costs you about $60,000. Route 1, the Hillary route that Sir Edmund Hillary climbed when he first summited Everest, costs about $80,000. So I noticed a lot of the professional climbers that I saw there, they had like different sponsors all over their gear, because that was the only way that you can afford to pay off that license and the gear and the manpower in order to summit. Kalapatar, which we got to the top of, is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It offers beautiful views, and I have a short video that I'll tack on at the end of this that talks about it. But yeah, that was pretty much my trip. It was a good 2 weeks. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, at the time, I'm complaining and everything like that with some of my buddies, but some of the views you get, you'll never see anywhere else. And I would recommend, if you have the free time and if you can save the money, I recommend going now, because as we got progressively higher, there are ranges that my guy was telling me that used to be covered in snow, but because of global warming, you can actually start seeing the underlying earth and the rocks underneath. So as we got near the top, especially around Gorak Shep, I actually saw whole sections of ice sliding off the sides of mountains just because of global warming. And I reckon in about 10-20 years, if it continues like this, it's not going to look nearly as beautiful now, and I'm sure it doesn't look nearly as beautiful now as it did 50 years ago. So if you get the chance, go. It was a great day. It was a great 2 weeks going there and coming back. We got really close, me and the guys that I went with and our guides, we got really close. And afterwards, when we got back to Kathmandu, we actually got together outside of that and just had dinner together and talked and hung out, and it was a really good experience, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Probably one of the best parts of my trip. Well, would definitely want to go back there someday and do it again, except for, you know, a couple days later when I got dysentery, but that's a story for another time. So yeah, that's my little summary of my trip to Kathmandu and my little trek to Mount Everest Base Camp. If you guys have any questions, feel free to PM me. If you enjoyed this video and like some of the pictures, let me know. Maybe I'll do some more of this and talk about some of the other places I've been to on my trip. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned, more videos to come, and take it easy. Bye.